Welcome to the Build By overview of The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy Expansion Pack. Thank you to The Sims for providing me early access to the pack. This is the super early access where my name is going to be bouncing around, so I can't do anything about that, but hopefully you'll be able to see and soak in all of the new stuff that we're getting with this pack. This version of the game is not final software, so some things might change upon final release. So these are just all of the items. I did try to separate it by like what kind of category this stuff is in, like whether it's activities and skills, you know, the bathroom stuff, tables and stuff. We did get a full new kitchen set, so we have that here. And I think there's a lot of good stuff to look at. I also have some Sims on this lot in case I want to test out anything. But yeah, these are all of the new items that come with this pack. We also got some new like floor spray. What do you call it? Terrain paint. Floor spray. We have new terrain paint with this pack as well. So there's a lot of good stuff to look at, but actually I think we should start by looking at the styled rooms. I usually start with the individual items, but I just think that this will be helpful so you can get like the vibe of what the pack is by how the Sims team decided to style everything. So as you can see here, we got this new dummy for sword fighting because sword fighting is a new skill that comes with this pack. And there are several different swatches for this. I actually have not looked at everything, but they've been doing a good job of, hold on, I'm just trying to get the lighting right. They've been doing a good job of like keeping things in more or less the same color palette. And if cast is any indication, there's basically two different color palettes for this pack. There's the more like European pastel royally colors, and then we have like the bolder African inspired print for things. So as you can see here, there's some displays here for the new collectibles. Swords are a new collectible with the pack. You can see here there's 11 swords of Ondarian. So I haven't even really messed with this mechanic. So just letting you know that that is a new collectible. So you're seeing them on display here. Another styled room that we have is a dining room. All right. And so you see that we've got new tables, new chairs, new rugs. And then we also have this new window feature, which is super cool. It's like thinner. So they've stacked it together to make it look like one big window, which I really like. And then you can see more of the decorative objects that we're getting with this pack. So this room is definitely inspired by more of the Africana style. Then again, we have a new kitchen set, so you can see all of the new items that come with the kitchen set, including new counters, upper cabinets, a new fridge, stove, and a sink. Now, interestingly enough, there were no new bar stools. So yeah, we also have this new, it's in the shelf category. What is the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a cabinet or a pantry or something, all right, with the new fireplace in here. And then the last styled room that comes with this pack is kind of like a grand ballroom situation. You can see there is a new bar, there's new curtains. You can see some of the fancy new decor, like the lights on the tables, the candles, on the tables. And then the ornate detailing on the piano and the coffee table, as well as this item, which is actually a dance floor. But it's really cool because it's being layered with like different floor tiles to make it look like a fancy ornate dance floor, which is really cool. You can see also in these styled rooms, like the different wallpapers that we're getting and all that. So now let's kind of look at everything individually. I'm going to start by looking at things outside. So we got obviously some new stairs, and with the base game update, you now have access to being able to edit the stairs in different ways, which I think is going to give builders so much more flexibility. No, it's not spiral stairs, but it's at least something, you know, and we have a lot more control over how the railings and stuff show up, how long or short they are. Okay, it's a really cool thing. And this is with the base game update. You also have the ability to like bring out the stairs as much as you want to kind of do like a grand staircase. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, we got two new stairs with this pack. So there's 16 different swatches, and I'm just going to show you a few just so you can kind of get the gist of what's happening here. This one is supposed to be like a carpeted stairway with different designs and like whatever these little, I don't know, carpet keeper, step keeper things are. listen, I don't know the names of things, okay? That's not what you come here for. You're just coming here to take a quick glance at what's coming with the pack. All right, so you've got a bunch of different options. And then as far as the railings are concerned, we've got several different railings. As you can see, we've got this one that's like more of like wood with the ornate detailing, but then we have the railing for outside where we have the potted plants on the corner. And then we have a railing that's kind of like the wrought iron detailing on the side with the stone. And these all come in several different swatches. As you can see, some of these have like a moss covered swatch. Some of them are cleaner. And it looks like the wrought iron stays the same for all of the different swatches in this case. For these ones as well, there's some that are kind of like moss covered, some that are cleaner. However, the actual railing on these does change colors. It's not like it's all one thing. You can see like the little swirly kind of detail on these stairs. It's kind of reminded me of like the romantic garden stuff. And then similarly for this one with the flowers, like the potted flowers on top, some of them have like more of an older moss covered style while some of them are more clean. So you have several different options. There's 16 different swatches for all of these, which is really cool. For the wood one, there's 8 different swatches, which has the different wood finishes. Like if you want to do more of like a cherry red finish, you can see the detailing down here at the post at the end of the rail as well. And then with the railings, we have the matching fences. And you can see here the fences with the different heights of the fences as well. So this is the fence that matches that wood railing. And then this is the fence that has like the greenery growing across the railing. And this is the version that doesn't have the greenery that grows across the railing. In case you can see that from before, because I had them kind of like catty corner, you can see like the wisteria hanging from this railing. So we've got the matching fences here. And then in this matching fence, I just wanted to show off that we have like this archway, the Blooming Boundaries archway to go inside, which is kind of cool. And then this wrought iron fence comes in different heights. It's called the Fence of Cordelia. And then there's a taller version. And then this is the gate that is put in the taller version or the shorter version. So the gate is the tallest here, which I do find kind of interesting. If you want to see the different swatches of this, there are, 16. Oh, it's the same 16 different swatches as the fence. So everything coordinates, everything matches. So that's fun. And I'm just going to show you a few of these different swatches. And then especially for this one as well, the different colors of the wisteria falling from this. I like things like this as far as like creating like a romantic gardenscape or something. It's nice to see that we have, this sort of option, especially with this vine kind of growing on the side here. I do really like that. And I'm sure that would be nice. Like if I take this, put this here, you can see like the greenery all the way down to the fence. So that's cool. And then for the rest of the outdoor stuff, we have some roof pieces. I put them on the ground, but these are actually roof pieces. And you can see that they're like these fancy statues, okay? There's 5 different versions of this. One man, one woman, and then what is this called? It's like a little tower vent. We've got the Renaissance roof base, and then we've got this one that I noticed from the trailer, the opulent or ornithological ornaments. And these all come in the coordinating swatches that we've seen from the fence, just to give you a quick glance at what this looks like. And I don't know, I think this is actually really cool. I like having these moss colored options. I wish The Sims would lean more into this with like everything. Like I want the furniture to kind of have like a dirty version or like a scratched up version, as well as a clean version for like all of the furniture. That would be fun. And then you can see back here, we've got some more like wall decor with the plants and the wisteria. Now, when I saw this, I got a little confused because I was like, this kind of reminds me of what we've gotten in other packs like cottage living or university. I think we did get some wisteria type of objects from Enchanted by Nature. I'm not remembering right now. I like this sort of thing. So I'm like, okay, it's nice to have more of it, especially that considering that these little wisteria pieces match what we have on the fences. So you can have a very coordinating garden. But again, I'm just like, we've kind of seen this before. And then for other wall decor pieces, for more of like the sculptural decorations, we've got some ornate pieces. What is this called? The carved wall leaf crown. All right. And it comes in the same 16 swatches that we've seen already. And then we've got the elegantly classic corbel. So, you know, I didn't build anything specifically. I'm not as much of a builder these days. So if you want to see some excellent builds, make sure you check out some other creators and how they use these objects for speed building. But I'm sure some of you all are like very excited by what you see here if you're planning on getting the pack or if you're thinking about it. Here, this has like this cool flower detail here on the side, I think. And then we have shutters. We have like individual shutters, which is really cool to add to each of the windows. There's 8 swatches for these, but I love this sort of detailing in order to customize our windows however we like. Love that for us. You can see some of these fountain objects that we got. We got a new pool water variant that is being shown here, as well as fountain trim and pool trim. I actually like this trim a lot. This fountain trim. It looks like there's 14 different swatches of this. So I'm just gonna show you a few of these. And this is looking like the Dembale colorway versus the like Belcourt Verdemar colorway. We also got a new pool trim, which is like the limestone pool trim. And there's 8 different swatches of this. I'm assuming it's matching some of the other railings and stuff that we've already seen and the roof pieces, but there's no mossy version of this. They're just the clean version. And then we got some fountains. If I go into live mode, you can see here that we've got these fountains here. And then this like wall, I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a wall fountain or wall decor or something. The Swirl Symphony wall fountain. Okay, well, I didn't necessarily see it spitting out water, but maybe I don't have it set up correctly. So you can see some of the swatches here. And then I'm assuming some of the same swatches here. Ooh, see, dirty swatches is all I'm saying. Although I do find it interesting that the water is much more generic versus the water that we get here. Yeah, this new Mediterranean turquoise water. I'm surprised they didn't do something a little bit more pronounced here, but you know, maybe they want to keep it neutral because it's a way for us to use it more frequently. We also got this terracotta fountain pot, and you can see it comes in all these different color swatches. I'm gonna stop doing math. I think it's 11 swatches, okay? So you can see that. And again, just going into live mode so you can see the fountain actually working. And if that wasn't enough fountain for you, we also got the Prince of Willows. And this comes in the similar swatches with the moss covered versus the clean version of the limestone. I didn't realize it was limestone until we were looking at the pool trim. So that's what it's supposed to be. And it comes with all of these plants and stuff inside it already. So I think this is really dope. We also got some more plants here. So these are similar to the hydrangeas that I think that we already have in base game. Like these are the base game versions. And then we got like not base game versions of these. I was confused. I was genuinely confused. Like what? Like we have this lavender bush and then we got some more lavender. I mean, okay, I'll take it, right? Let me get rid of the base game versions as not to confuse you too, because I was confused. I'll take it, but it is a little bit like, what? I think this one comes in a few more colors than the base game one. Yeah, the base game one only comes in 4 different color swatches, but this comes in 6 different color swatches. So I'm gonna be happy to have it. There's also like this like super long shrub version of this. This is actually really cool to have because it's so different from what we got in the base game. I don't know. I don't know. I like flowers though. I like flowers in this game. I like that we have all of these other little details to make more like pretty gardens. I love a pretty garden in this game. That being said, it is unusual when we get more of the same. We also got some trees. We got this fragrant fig tree. We got the just an olive tree, and then we have a fine pine tree. And the shape of this is kind of like a more flat. So these are the things that are actually in the catalog for when you're like building and using stuff outside. And we have terrain paints as well. These are all the different terrain paints that we got. So some of the limestone. Now what's crazy to me about some of these, it's like, did we not already have these? You know, especially like this one and this one. It's like, I guess not. This for sure feels different, as well as this one here. But the rest of these, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, they're tagged with the pack, so I guess they're new. Some other architectural related things. You can see we got some new columns in the same style. So this comes in a ton of different swatches. I'm definitely giving up the math at this point. I can see that some of them have this like trellis diamond iconography in it, and then some of them don't. So I love when we get all these different options. Every time I see something like this though, where we get so many different variants of more or less the same thing, I'm like, why don't they do that all the time? You know, like why not give us one of every different color all the time. I am confusion about that. So just clicking through just so you can see some of them. Ugh, I'm loving the dirty versions. And I love that when you are making a larger build, for example, or if you want to tell the story of a build being like older, you can mix and match some of the mossy versions versus the not mossy version. I'm trying to get in to show you some of the detailing on these columns. Like, these are really nice. And then we've also got this version of the column, this that has like some rope at the base. This comes in 8 different swatches. It matches the stair railings and the same wood finishing that we have for like the African inspired version of everything. Ooh, wow, this is like really ornate. The spandrel here, again, I'm assuming the spandrels, yeah, there are so many different swatches here. What is this, like 40? Some with the shells, okay, some without the shells, and some with the moss and some without the moss. Basically, that's the variance that you're seeing here. And so just in case you can see like this is the shells with the moss. And then if you want that same one, but without the shells, you can have that too. They offer a lot of like flexibility in that way for the limestone version. So that's cool. And then we also have this version of this. It's called the ceiling rail. Ooh, so you can see like the hydrangea detail in the corner. That's cool. And then some of them, I guess, I was gonna say some of them don't have it. Like, what's the difference? It's not changing. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Some of them don't have the hydrangea detail and some of them do have the hydrangea detail. So depending on how fancy you're trying to make your builds, then you have those options there. Ooh, yeah, so many. Love that for us. Love that for y'all builders. And then we have these exterior trims, which is more of the same. We have like a solid version of a trim, and then we got one with this like tulip detailing. And then again, it's like, is it darker? Is it gray? Is it more taupe? Is it neutral? Is it moss covered? That's what you're looking at here. And then the polished version, it's like, okay, this one's darker. And then some of them are clean and some of them kind of just more aged. This is a version that doesn't necessarily have the moss. It just has like the aged feeling. And then we got a new Mediterranean shingle roof tile that comes in several different swatches, some of which, of course, have the moss covering, and some of which are kind of like chipped and older. But then some of them, at least two of them were like more clean. Like that first one was cleaner, but some of these are rough looking. I do like that though, again, for storytelling. And it's similar to what we have, but this is the base game version, and then this is the version that comes in the pack. So you can see that this one feels a little bit more higher res and the color is a little bit different. I'm shrugging. Obviously this has way more color variants and stuff than the base game version. Okay, so then we're moving on to the wallpapers. You can see the different wallpaper variants that we get in this pack. One wallpaper that has like this ornate detailing, and then one with the ornate detailing with like paneling at the top and bottom. We've got this one, which is, what is this called? It's called Earthy Vibes. It reminds me of like a stucco, but with obviously these detailings that's kind of like an West African, inspired print. And then we have like these panels, these pretty panels that kind of remind me of like a storybook, you know? So this is very similar to some of the items that we get in the pack. This reminds me of something that would be in like a nice dining area or in a kid's room or something like that. But I just wanted to make sure that the repeat was wide enough for you to see the pretty story detailing. And yeah, these come in several different swatches. I'm gonna just show you a few of these just so you have an idea here of what we're working with. Some pastels, some navy, you know, the red, and then very similar for the actual paneling version of everything. So I think most of these, if not all of them, yeah, have the white paneling as the option. So that's actually interesting. I don't know if I realized that, but we have more or less most of the colors of the rainbow. Salmon, pink, you know, pastel-y orange and whatnot for that one. Then for the more West African style one, you can see that these are more of the earth tones and the pattern is contrasting for some of these. I do like this. This is gonna be fun to have in the game, especially for like accent walls and stuff. I already know what Sims I'm using this for. This one has a few more swatches, but there's a version with and without the pattern on it. So in case you were like, what? I like that one, but I would rather have it more solid. You've got the solid option for all of these actually. So just showing you, see, look, this one is black. I don't know if you can see the black with, sorry, it's jumping around a lot, with the pattern there, but then also it's like a solid black. as for these, what is this called? It's like the Floral Fantasy Fresco, Nautical Nostalgia, the Calm Cove Canvas. These storybook wallpapers only have a few swatches for some of these. And, oh, okay. Just having a plain one, sure. Actually, you know what? This is perfect for if you make your own CC wallpapers. I like that they kind of gave us just like a plain one for you to customize to your liking, okay? But by default, it's the color version. Behind it is the Calm Cove canvas back here. So I'm just not even gonna move. I'm just gonna show you what some of these swatches look like. You can see some of them are like one color. Ooh, the different scenes and whatnot. This one's so cool. I love this. Ooh, and the plane. You know, sure. But I like how these are inspired by like different parts of like the sim world. And then we have Nautical Nostalgia, which is the one that's in the back there. If my name would please move. There's only 4 different swatches of this as well. So it's like the red, the blue, black, and then nothing. But here again, you can see like the shells around and then whatever this like botanical detailing is. So this is fun. I like this wallpaper a lot. I can see me using this, like I said, in like his room, storybook. I can see me making like a library or something. And like this is like a reading garden or something like that. Like that could be fun. Okay, so then we've got this other wallpaper. So this is called Pure Plaster Charm. And what's cool about this is we have 3 different variants of this wallpaper, as you can see. There's one variant that's solid from top to bottom, one variant that's dirty at the bottom, and one variant that's dirty at the top. So if you, for example, were making like a 3-level palace, you could put the dirty at the bottom swatch at the bottom, you could put the solid one in the middle, and then you could put the dirty at the top swatch at the top level. There's 8 different swatches of this. So, you know, you can see here green, orange, this blue, but those are basically the colors. It's like green, orange, and blue, and more saturated or less saturated. What do you want? But I like, again, that some of these are the dirtier ones. Some of these you can see are dirty, and then some of them actually have like the mossy colored swatch. I'm gonna use the other one so you can see a little bit easier, like how it's dirty at the top, but then also the moss version at the top. So listen, it's all the different variants for you to be able to do the storytelling with your builds. I love that for us. Again, I like how the moss version of this, you can barely even see. You can see it a little bit better on the other colors for sure, but it's available in all 3 of these, the solid colors, and then both of these have the kind of like aged version and the moss version. And similar thing here with this limestone wallpaper. There's 8 different swatches of the limestone, which I'm actually excited to have something like this. Very neutral stone just on the wall. I can see me using this for like a kitchen backsplash or something like that. And then again, there is the dirty version, and then like there's the moss version if you want to build something cool and do that storytelling about, I keep calling it dirty. I'm swapping between dirty and aged, right? But I love that. I love that for us. And you could kind of see here, like it's at the bottom. It's definitely less pronounced at the bottom, like the moss and the aging versus like the top version. You can really see it super pronounced on the top version. Same thing. You got the same colors available, just 2 different variants for these other ones. So that's really cool. Then we also have this tile. It says Tile Tales Freeze Flare. There's 4 different versions of this tile. So this one is like solid with the ornate detailing from top to bottom. This one has a trim at the top. This one has the limestone at the bottom. And then this one is like solid at the top with just a tile at the bottom. I like having all these different variations. There's 2 different colors options for those though. And then once you get into these other variants, it's like, do you want the age? Do you want the moss? Or do you want just solid? Now, this I am assuming is specifically tied to some sort of decor style that I'm not familiar with. But I love how in this one, you can see there's chipped tiles. And then for some of these, it's like chipped and dirtier. And some of these are chipped and a little bit cleaner. And then there's only 1 swatch for this one. If you guys know what the decor styles are for these, let me know. I'm sure they told us, but I don't remember right now. And then for floor tiles, we got 3 different floor tiles with this pack. We have a diamond marble tile. We have tiles are immaculate tile, and then some limestone brick. So here's the diamond tile. I'm trying to see. Yeah, this is just the best lighting I can do outside right now. So you can see some of the different colors in here. I might go inside just so you can have a slightly better idea of what it looks like. So here's what it looks like inside. So you can have, $11,000. Yeah, it is expensive. $16 a square. So, you know, if you want your Sims to live that fancy life, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see more of like the marble detailing for this floor. Hopefully it's not too dizzying for you looking at it. And then these are the other tile as well. And I was wondering too, if they like wrapped around, you know how like we have the versions of the floor tiles that have like the edge banding and versus the corner and that sort of thing. That's not what's happening here. And so I feel like this would work very well on like the ceiling or as an accent or something. Maybe not for the entire floor, but what do I know? And then inside, I'm already using the limestone brick tile, and there's 8 different swatches of that. So here are some of the swatches just to show you the neutral swatches, that sort of thing. Rounding off the build portion of the video, you can take a look and see all of the different doors and archways and windows that are coming with this pack. And I'll kind of zoom in and give you a quick high level so you can see all the different detailing and patterns. Again, they separated the creative direction between West African inspired and European inspired. And I just find it funny that both of those are coming in the same one pack. I know people have been critical about the fact that we did not get a fully African inspired world. And I don't know what to say about that. I'm happy that we're getting at least some sort of African inspired representation, African inspired from the diaspora in the game at all. And so I'm happy to see it. I think something is better than nothing, although a fully African based world would be great to see. I also wonder sometimes about just the community not being as receptive as some would like to think that they are. Okay. So yeah, I'm just showing you here that a lot of the doors come in different variants. Like I liked seeing, for example, this come in an archway where you can see this archway has no doors and then the same archway with the doors open. I think that's so cool. And you can see the door with like the handles and stuff. That's the same as the door itself. So looking inside and outside, you can see the handles on the doors and that sort of thing. And then the colorways are similar to some of the wallpaper that we've already seen. And I love the ornate detailing on some of these doors as well. Like it looks so good. And then I like the stone on the outside as well for some of these. So this looks like wood. And then these look like stone, like the limestone. Really cool. Love that. And so you can imagine that the colors are carried throughout the rest of these items. So I'm just going to show you some of the variants just so you can see how it shows up. And oh, this is going to be so cool. I could see me using this for like a nice cafe or something like that, right? And then again, this door here, you can see, I like the pulls on the door. And I love that all of these versions that you're seeing here are the exact same with the archways. Okay, so these same archways have the same finishes. Obviously, you can see here, this one has like the medallion either has the hydrangeas or it doesn't have the hydrangeas. That's like the difference there. I'm surprised we didn't get like the moss and the age version in this case, but I guess they weren't going to do that for us with the door. So they were just like, yeah, you can either have the medallion versus no medallion, you know, for some of these. So I don't know. I think these doors and archways and stuff are really pretty. Oh, look, and there's like a taller version as well. So you can see, ooh, some of them have the glass and some of them don't have the glass. Ooh, it's cool. I mean, I think the style is really dope to look at. Okay, if my name would move, please. Okay, that's something. I'm excited to see what like builders do, or like you let me know in the comments what you can see yourself doing with these items if you're planning on getting the pack. Obviously, things are going on right now with The Sims and EA specifically. So I understand that some people are like, no, I'm not buying anything new. So you're just looking at this and looking at how pretty it is, and then you're going to move on with your life. Totally understood. I'm zooming in on this one because I like seeing all the details on the stonework on the outside and then also on the door. The Sims are living good. They're living fancy. And I love that for us. And I also made sure to put the column here so you can see that all of these things coordinate very well. And going up to, you can see that the same thing with the archway. There's also an open door version of this. as well as the actual door version of this. So I think everything is on. This one is 3, like the tall wall height, and this is the medium wall height. And you can see some of these other ones as well. Oh, this one doesn't have any other color swatches, but I like the arch with this like middle piece in here. And you can see same thing, doors, matching doors. Let me try to zoom in a little bit so you can see some of these details on the doors, and then like the door handle. I love the wrought iron in the window there and how it like changes. It's super dope. Here, I want to look at this one because you can see like this one has like lizard and spiders and some animals and stuff on the front. So it's like different wood finishes. Okay, that's what's happening for that. And then same thing here. It's like different wood finishes, but the stone stays the same. Okay, this is, I mean, I think this is pretty. Then for the windows, we have coordinating windows with all of these. So you can see like the shape has stayed the same, the like swirly detail on the sides. This is a single wide, this is a double wide window. Some of these other like intricate framing details, but same thing with the colors. The colors are, you know, reminiscent of the rest of the color palette for this pack. So once you've seen the color palette, you kind of see what's going on, and the variations are with or without the ornate detailing and what color you'll have. Now, as I was placing these windows, I was actually thinking to myself, I would not know how to use these on a build. They seem so ornate that I would definitely be reaching for inspiration. Now, I did put the shutters on this just to see. I'm like, is this where the shutters would go? So these are the separate shutter pieces that, you know, coordinate with what we've got going on with these windows, but I don't even know if they feel like they go with these windows. To me, it's like they're independent. I guess you could use these shutters maybe with base game windows. I have no idea, y'all. All right, again, I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer so you can see the detail. Like I like this detail above the window. It's just so, it is pretty. These things are pretty, but I don't know what to do with these. I was even inspired by the styled room on how to stack these ones next to each other to make it look like it's an even bigger window. There's no glass in these ones. These are just kind of like open airways, okay? And you can have like a floor to ceiling version of this. And then there's also like a horizontal version. So, you know, I hope you're getting ideas. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna try to slowly pan past these windows. I just briefly touched this one, but I like having this open airway one here as well. It's like looking right into an object inside of there. Okay, so yeah, so these are the windows, these are the doors and archways, and all of the actual build related stuff that we're getting with this pack. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the build items, how you see yourself using them, if you see yourself using them, and what you liked the most as we get into the buy stuff. All right, so these are all of the comfort items that come in the pack. We got a new, what is this? Bassinet. I couldn't remember the name. I was gonna call it something else. We got a new bassinet, a new single bed, and a new double bed. Now, I know every time we get a new single bed, we don't get a toddler bed. And every time we get a toddler bed, we don't get a single bed. So that's where they're deciding, I guess, where the item count goes. I don't know anything about how a pack is made, but that is what I've noticed recently. So you can see, again, this is basically how I would divide the styles in this pack, the European versus the West African style. So I'm just gonna click through so you can see some of the colors here. Like I'll click on this green one, and then you can see you can have the all matching green set. And then for the West African style, actually, let me use the double bed so you can really see all the different colors and stuff. And I love a pattern. So I am excited about this. But then we also get like the solid version of things with just the patterns on the pillows. And then same thing, you can have a single bed that coordinates and matches if you would like. And then there's the coordinating bassinet. A new type of item that we got is the throne. You can find the throne in the living chair section, which I thought was interesting because I thought that the throne should maybe come in activities because there's so much actual gameplay that happens around having a throne and interacting with a throne. But FYI, it's in living chairs. And then we also have some actual, you know, living chairs. And we've already seen these patterns and stuff in the bed. That's why I was like trying to do this a little bit differently with like, hey, you get the gist. You get the gist of what's happening here. And I'll, you know, try to zoom in so you can see all of the different items. Like this has like tassels on the side. The shadows of the tassels are a little bit strange, but these got tassels. There's some decorative floors. I do not know what to call this stuff. I just am like, yep, it looks pretty. It's got the decorations on the side. It looks very expensive. It looks very fancy. Okay. Now, let me tell you what I'm actually really excited about that comes with this pack. We've got a new automatic couch. So I saw this little chair and I was like, what the hell is this? Right? Like, what is this? Turns out we've got a whole new living couch thing. So the thing that originally came with Dream Home Decorator, we now got with this pack. I really wish we had a base game version of this, but I love that we get it here. You can make your own couches as wide or as narrow as you would like. So I'm just gonna go through and change these so you can see that all of this can match. The other thing is it came in the like West African theme, but there's not an equivalent in the European theme. In the European theme, we have these like love seats, the chaise lounge, all right, and then the 3-seater couch. And I think they probably were like, yeah, I mean, that's all you need, okay? We have plenty of couches that are in this same sort of style. You guys don't need this thing for the European style. And then we also have a love seat in this same palette and prints and stuff, and then some dining chairs as well. So a lot of good options here. I think this, let me see, is this the table? This is a bench. So there's a few items that kind of confuse me because they look opposite. So this looks like a bench that you can sit on. Let me have my sim come in here. Yeah, you can sit on this bench, but then this thing that comes in the pack is a table. All right. So I just remember seeing this and I was like, wait, what? So now that we've talked about the couches, we might as well come over here to like the surfaces and stuff. So yeah, so this is it's a little coffee table and has a little basket in it, which does beg the question if something can go in the basket. So I have this little clutter item. Ooh, okay, so things can go in the basket, which I think makes sense because this is supposed to be a table, but there's a lot of things that make sense to me that aren't necessarily implemented in The Sims. So that didn't mean a damn thing, but I like that we can put stuff in on this table. It's just, to me, the opposite. It would be the opposite. I would want to sit on this one. It looks so comfy, and then put stuff on this one. So that'll throw you for a loop, especially because the tables actually do look like that other bench that you can sit on. I'm like, did they did do that on purpose. For a second there, I was like, did they do that by accident? And it's like, no. We've got this patio brunch table, which I just kind of put it over here. Oh my, the lemon swatch. That is adorable. I love that. I love all the different patterns that come in this pack, okay? That's why I didn't want to say too much about the hydrangeas that we get in this pack. I'm like, I do love flowers and stuff. I like flowers as decoration. So I even though I'm like, we kind of have something like this, I'll take it because, you know, I like a new variation. But again, it's kind of like if you're asking people to pay for an expansion pack, do you want to see things that look very similar to things we already have? And then with this little accent table, I just wanted to get in here closer because there is some like decorative little detailings and stuff that I like about this one that make it look like it's a little bit more worn or like a hand-me-down or something. And then I've been kind of flying through some of the swatches with some of the wood stuff because again, all of this stuff is kind of like coordinated and related. And then we have the regal style surfaces in the other, you know, style that comes with this pack, okay? European versus African, West African. Just showing off here, we've got the dining table. This is the desk, and this is a coffee table, okay? Much of the same. We've got these accent tables back here as well. So we've got the longer accent table and then more of the nightstand accent table. If I can get in a little bit closer, let me try to show you a little bit better. There you go. So you can see some of these different colors. And then we have a new vanity. Love this for us. And this comes in those same colors that we've already seen. So let me grab one of the chairs, these dining chairs, which I didn't click on, but just so you can see, we have some dining chairs that match the European style as well as a new patio dining chair, which I'm assuming goes with that table that we just looked at. So it's nice to have that option. Also with the heart. Okay, I know we have something like this because I used it in the last couple of years, but I can't remember which pack. I don't know if it was base game or what, but we have something that has like a rose or something on the pack. If you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and put it in the comments. I just want to bring this chair over to the vanity, basically. That's why I was doing all of that. So you can see that things coordinate, they match if you want them to. Also random, we got a new mailbox. All right, so the colors you've already seen, the kind of golds, the pastels, and then some of the deeper like greens and the black and stuff, okay? So yeah, so this is the full kitchen set that we got. These are the colors of the cabinets and stuff, much like the vanity and whatnot that we were just looking at. Let me use an upper cabinet so it's a little bit easier to see the colors that this kitchen comes in. I like that we got a full kitchen. I think that a lot of players who are planning on getting this pack will be excited about that as well. It does come with a sink, like a built-in sink, like that reminds me of the cottage living sink, the farmhouse, right? Isn't that like a farmhouse sink style? And so I'm just gonna go through and like change some of these so that they match, so you can see that they coordinate. So you could have kind of like a lime green kitchen if you want. And the refrigerator comes in those same swatches. Now at quick glance, you can see that the cabinet goes past the top of the refrigerator, just a hair, and that the refrigerator does not take up like the full width between the counters. You know, so I guess this is how rich people live. The refrigerator is just at an obnoxious size that doesn't go with the rest of the kitchen. And why should it? Because they're rich, you know? And then this is the stove. Oh, I didn't realize, I forgot that this is one piece. I feel like that will limit how I use this stove when not in association with this pack. To me, I wish they would have been separate. Maybe it's one of those things to keep the item count down. Again, I'm using words like item count, like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to making a pack. I don't. Don't get it twisted. I'm just guessing here based on what I've heard other creators say, you know, casually. And again, I will mention that there was no bar stools that came with this pack. So I just used the base game bar stools. I used the base game bar stools because I noticed that this color matched the counter color almost perfectly. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's an option. And then when it comes to switching the counter color though, we don't have a lime green version of these little stools. So I guess I would use white or black or something. And then you can see I used the new floor tile in the kitchen. And I think it looks great. Even this kitchen as is, like the green with the black and white. I love a black and white moment. So this is really cool. And before we move on, I just have randomly in the middle of the room, these are the new like plumbing items we got. We already saw this new sink, but we have another new sink that has a little towel in the front. Now, the way that they put the towel here, that's how I want to like place my own towels with move objects, but I can never figure out how to get it right because the little towel object that we have always wants to snap onto the wall. You can see there's some towels underneath here. There's like a little tile decoration and then some baskets. And then the tile matches the tile that we have here with this bathtub. Oh my goodness. So this tub is so nice. And I'm not even sure how often I would use something like this, but I have got to figure out how to use this super cool corner tub. And you can see it is actually a corner tub, so it should fit snug against the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a little wall here so we can see it. So I've got the wall and then boom, it tucks right into there. So there's a lot of potential for what you could do for builds. And then for the sink itself, you could see that, oh my gosh, I love the like combination of the different tiles with the wooded. I think this one's my favorite. I like the warm with like the cool blue, and then you could have the matching blue bathtub. So this is cool to me. I like these, not a lot. It's not like we got a new toilet or anything. It would have been fun to get a patterned toilet, but unnecessary. I understand that. And then while we're here, I'll show you some of the storage items that we got. We have a new closet and it comes in 12 different swatches. Sorry, it took me a second. I keep pausing every now and then to be like, okay, how many swatches is this? If I remember. And then we got some clothes. So here's the thing about the clothes, right? I'll just show off these first. We didn't get any clothes that are representative of some of the Africana styles that we got in this pack. And I thought that was a weird choice. As you can see, there's only 2 new clothing options. And I was like, well, what about all the cool new Ankara prints that I got? I want to show that off in the closet. Nah, there's no new Africana clothes. And so I don't really like that. I think the equivalent is here where we have this, the carved essence wardrobe. That's supposed to be the Africana style for the closet. And I really would have liked to see the African prints hanging up in my Sims closet. I did just notice that these are like fancier hangers, so that's fun. But yeah, I'm not really happy about not having the Ankara print clothing. I do like these bookcases though. I especially like this one because these are like floor to ceiling bookcases with kind of like that stucco, plastery, whatever that was on the outside. Like you have the matching bookcase on the inside, and then you can see these are the different color swatches for that. And it's the same for the taller bookcases as well. So I think this is really cool to have the floor to ceiling bookcases. And then a similar sort of thing is happening with the resplendent grand bookshelf, but these don't tile next to each other in the same way. Like I can try now that I have move objects on. Yeah, I think this is how they would sit together on the wall. With move objects, they kind of overlap weird. They're not supposed to tile together in the same sort of way. Anyway, these are the colors. You've seen the colors in other objects, so I'm just gonna kind of quickly go over these so you can see that that's what they come in. You can see that there's some open shelving to put some little decor pieces in. So if I grab some sculptures or something, I do have move objects on. Hold on, let me make sure move objects is off. And I only turn move objects off because I'm like, no, what actually goes into these different spots? Because already it's feeling like nothing. So I know for a fact, yeah, like anything that I guess is like a small footprint goes into the different shelves. And I guess a lot of the stuff that I'm picking up must have like a larger footprint. So like this cologne is going in here. What about this knife block? Yeah, sure, the knife block as well. So you'll just have to play with it to see what can fit. Because what about my little Coach purse? Damn it, the Coach purse doesn't fit in there. What about come on. This is the pack that, I can't put my fancy purse in the bookcase. Dang game. What about this thing? Yeah, I guess. Whatever. Moving on to activities and skills. These are the different sizes of the new dance floor. And as you can see, we've got like a little square one, a larger square one, and then a rectangular one, really, really big. And as you know, one of the new dances that comes with this pack is the waltz. We have 4 different designs basically for this larger one. So this one matches, oh my gosh, the plumb bob is over here in the corner. I've asked this question before, but I've always wondered, what is the plumb bob in the Sims world? Is it like a religious symbol, you know? But because I'm like, why would that show up? Why would that be relevant for them? You know, do they worship the plumb bob? Is it like representative of the soul? You know, what is that? But yeah, those same designs show up in all of the dance floors. So that's really cool. And then we also have the speaker that plays the waltz, which is kind of interesting because we didn't get the Afrobeat speaker. Are we supposed to have a speaker for every station? Isn't that the idea for these little speakers? Because if so, we're missing one for Afrobeats, which came with this pack. We have a new piano with the design that we already saw in the styled room, but I will put it out here just so we can see some of the like ornate detailing on the side and like the different colors of that. You can see that the bench changes colors depending on which swatch it is. So I like the salmon color, the salmon pink, if you know, you know. That is going to be such a niche reference. Very few people will know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to explain it. Okay, anyway, so yeah, so we have a new grand piano, and then we have a new podium, we have a new chess table, and then we also have the practice dummy for sword fighting that we already saw in the styled room. The podium is interesting because like speeches is something that is important in this pack, because the nobles, you can make speeches as one of your activities, and then you can hold press conferences and stuff as the royal. So this item is important for the gameplay in this pack. All right, so those are some of the different swatches. And then here are the different swatches for the chess table. You can see like the base down here changes, and then the wood finish changes as well. We have the family tree compendium. I'm gonna have her come in here to mess with this object. So she's looking around. It's on the floor. She's not actually interacting with it. She's just looking at it. We found no dark history for Lily's family. Maybe she just is not as interesting as she thought. Okay, so you can just double check secrets and stuff with that item. And then we have the family tree tapestry that comes in all of these different swatches. Oh my gosh. I love the change in the background. I think that's kind of fun. Whether it's plain or whether it's an actual like family tree. It reminds me of something that you would put out at like a family reunion. Anybody know what I'm talking about with that? Anyway, here you can forge your own family tree, create a dynasty, and view your own family tree as well. And then here you can actually view your family tree without having to go into the Simology panel, and then Forge so you can pretend like you're somebody else. Oh, forge a connection, and then add a sim to forge a connection. So maybe someone who you meet and you want to act like you're related to them. That's fun. So this item is used to help you like discover secrets in your family tree. And then there's some more gameplay with that item as well. Okay, I'm gonna add another light here just so we can see these items. So it wouldn't be The Sims if we didn't get a new bar, lols. So this is the bar back item that you can see the different color swatches and the decorations and stuff. I mean, this is nice. Then a new 4-tile wide bar. So you can have a fancy bar in your ballroom or whatever, like we saw in the styled room. We've got the cuckoo clock, which comes in all of these. I'm not even gonna count. I'm not gonna count the swatches. It looks like there's some wood swatches here, and these are the color palettes that we've already seen. This does have gameplay. This could accidentally kill you, because if you sabotage it, your sim could end up dying. You can also inspect the clock. And when you inspect the clock, it kind of unlocks for you as a secret passageway. So if you have werewolves, you're familiar with the secret passageway system with the portal potties. This is a very similar mechanic. So she's inspecting, and basically if she finds something else, then she can travel. She can fast travel somewhere. Yeah. Lily has learned about a new secret passageway entrance, and then you can explore it and you can do more things. All right. We have a new telescope. The telescope is fancy. It comes in 4 different swatches. Ooh, I like the black one. It's very sleek. All right. And you know, it's a telescope. Y'all know how it is. There's no new gameplay with this. I remember somebody saying that they want to be able to like spy on your neighbors or something now, and that doesn't seem to be the case. We have a new selling table because we have a new lot type, the marketplace lot type, or something like, I can't remember the exact name of it. But when we have a new market selling area, they give us a new market table. So this comes in these 8 different swatches, and the marketplace is in the Dumbale neighborhood, which is the West African inspired neighborhood. So we only have one style of selling table in this case, which is the West African style selling table. And then lastly, in this category to look at, we have a new dollhouse. And as you can see, this little toddler sim is already playing with the dollhouse. I love how the interior of the dollhouse, all of the color swatches match the colors that we got in this pack, okay? Because you could actually recreate this dollhouse if you wanted to in The Sims, which I love. I love that as even an idea for you, like a little challenge. I find that really, really cute. And so that's like the inside of the little dollhouse, and then this is the outside of the dollhouse. Like those are the doors that we were looking at earlier, the exact doors, the same windows and stuff. So this is cute. And I love that the Sim is already playing with it. And of course, these are huge, and the Sims still play with it even if you size them down. If you want to have an itty bitty little dollhouse, the little toddler will still play with it if it's a little bit smaller. This is like to me, it reminds me of like Barbie Dream House. Like this is the ideal Barbie Dream House situation. Imagine like a little 3-year-old. It's like twice as tall as a 3-year-old. That's lit. And then finally for downstairs, we have lighting. You can see we have a chandelier that has like baskets. This reminds me of the chandelier that we got with the Desert Luxe kit, if I'm not mistaken. And that was my favorite chandelier for a time. So I'm so excited that we have another one. Ooh, or like this one with the baskets with the different colors. Ugh, I love this. Honestly, already, I love this. I can see me using this all the time. If you watch me play Tiny Town, I'm gonna be using all this West African stuff in Sunny and Soledad's apartment, for sure. And if you don't know who that is, that's my, one of my Sims is kind of like an eclectic free spirit. And I just think that she would love, and she's an elder, and I think she would love all of this stuff. Now this chandelier, I like this chandelier. It's very fancy. I like that it has the candles. I also like that the chandelier is not too big. I feel like sometimes with the chandeliers that we've been getting lately, they're really, really large. And that's great. There's a time and a place for that, but this one isn't so much. There's also kind of like a wall sconce with the candles. It comes in 3 different finishes. That chandelier, I didn't even count how many finishes it came in. It's kind of hard to look at lights because when you click on the swatch, it dims the whole room. Don't know exactly why it does that, but you can see how the base of the chandelier changes color depending on what we're looking at here. The sconce had 3 different swatches. This is another wall sconce. That's the West African inspired one. It's the carved essence. So this part is like supposed to be the carved detailing, and it comes in those same swatches as everything else, you know, the wood swatches with the table and the bench and all that sort of stuff with the West African inspired things that we have. We've got this Scandal Seeker's Beacon. So this is like a floor lamp, all right, with like a little rope that goes around the side and then the candle in the middle. This is nice. It's just really big. And I'm curious if it sizes down well. Oh, it actually does. You know how sometimes with candles, when you size it down, the flame gets really weird? So this does size down pretty well. And so if I were to make a copy of this, hold on, I just want to see if it would fit on that bench that we were looking at earlier. Oh, right. Okay. So the issue with this is technically like a floor item. So it doesn't want to go on a table, even though it looks like it could go on the table. Doesn't want to. So love that for me. We have another floor light, this floor chandelier. Ooh. Oh, I didn't realize it came with like some greenery. This is nice. Ooh, how would y'all use this? I feel like I'm thinking of like a garden party, all the garden things. Okay, with the flowers and the leaves falling off the side, the vines. I like that. I like this fringe lampshade as well. Oh, I was hoping to see some of the like ornate detailing in the lampshade, but it's just all solid, which is good. I think that's a good option to have. And you can see with my name in the way, that's so annoying. And you can see the shape of the lamp as well. I like this one. And then these are the other lamps that are coming in this pack. We've got one, like a table version of the chandelier that we saw in the styled room way earlier at the beginning of this video. And then also this West African inspired lamp with the patterns and stuff on it. So this comes in a lot of different colors. Same pattern, different colors. I was wondering if the pattern would change. Okay. Constantly having to move so you guys can see past my name is actually kind of funny. Hopefully you've been able to see everything and get the gist of what is in this pack, because that is the goal. All right. So that's half of the items, more or less. Before we go upstairs to look at everything else, we do have some new market stalls. So you'll get some of the new cuisine that comes in the pack across the world. And so I'm excited to have that as an option as well. So this is obviously the Dambale inspired one. And then this is the rest of the world. It's West African versus European. I've been saying that this whole video. Okay, so up here we've got like decor items. All right, so I'll start over here so you can see we've got some window curtains, both the West African inspired and more of the European inspired window curtains. And these are two different pieces. So each of these has a left and a right for the West African inspired colors. And I'll just go through so you can see that some of them are solid and then some of them have the pattern on them. And I'm gonna move in a little bit just so you can see that again. I do like that we get the solid color options as well. That definitely increases the range of which I might use these, but I'm loving these patterns. I really, really am. Now, I just double checked to make sure there wasn't like a separate rod piece, but the way that these curtain rods have this little end cap like that, I wouldn't expect there to be like a connector piece, and there isn't one. So this is what you got for those curtains. And then for these curtains, we have like two curtain rods on the wall holding the different levels, if you will, the different curtains for this. And then these are all the different swatches for this version of the curtain as well. And you have like the regular wall height versus the medium wall height versus the tall wall height on the curtains. Just trying to show you. There's this tassel rope, which is, when I turn the camera like this, you can see it's like really flat. But, you know, it gives you the impression of the tassel rope. I think the Businesses and Hobbies pack has a curtain with the tassel ropes that feel like actual tassels and not just kind of like a, I don't know, flat thing on top of the curtain. But you get the vibe. You get what they're doing, you know, with the fringe and the tassel. It looks expensive, and I think that's the point. We've got some new like ornate portrait paintings that come in these different swatches. It's interesting because like this one is She Captain. What's the story here? Who is this mysterious and beautiful captain of the sea? She looks vaguely familiar. There's lore here. Y'all, I'm not the lore person, okay? I make up my own lore. So there is lore to discover in this pack if you are a lore type of player. But then these are some of the other paintings. Who is this supposed to be? Portrait of a moment. Life is forever changing, families growing and following their dreams into the future. But this precious moment is captured forever, maintaining the moment for perpetuity. That was a bunch of nothing. This is the kind of thing that I wish that like we could have this frame and then put our own painting inside of the frame, like our own family painting. But this looks really good. There's probably lore in all of these, and I just don't know what it is. Notes of Childhood Perfection. A piece exploring the naive perfection of a supervised youth, privileged with the overbearing potential of their musical excellence. Sure. Okay. This feels, oh, whoa, that sim looked familiar. Doesn't that feel like a Sims 2 sim? It feels like a throwback, but I can't be too certain. Oh, the doggy. I just noticed that. So we've got these wall panels that you can use over like a wallpaper to create like one of those fancy beveled, wallpapers. I can't, I'm at a loss for words. Okay. How much is this though? I'm curious. It's $75, which is expensive, but it's an option for you. There's also the square wall panel, which is $25. And it comes, I think, in those same sort of patterns for you to make something interesting on the wall. If you are a builder, how are you using these? We do have these decals. This is the Gilded Dynasty Crest and the Vibrant Dynasty Crest. So when you are choosing a dynasty, you can use one of these different icons. And so I like how we have these as separate wall pieces for you to make your own like decor on the wall. There is an item. Yeah. Okay. Over here. This Dynasty Crest shield. So you can purchase this shield. It comes in the different colors that are available when you're making your own shield. It doesn't come in the different shapes, which I thought was interesting that we don't get the different shapes like when you're making a dynasty, but these little emblems lock onto the shield. So that's pretty cool for you to make your own like little custom decoration in your house to honor like, I don't know, your legacy. You can make a whole like throne room with these sorts of things on the wall. We got some vases. We got these little, what is this? Hand-carved Sankofa. Okay, it says that this is a tradition that comes from, so that's pretty neat to have this in the game. And oh, these different colors and stuff. I like the colorful version. It kind of looks like a little heart or something to me, the way that this is shaped. This is really cool. And then getting into some of these other items, so you can see some of the colorways that this stuff comes in. I don't actually use a lot of like the vases and stuff. I don't think I use them enough. And these baskets. So I'm excited to try to use something like this. Like, I think this looks really, really cool, but I just don't know how I would use this, in my regular life. And then this is just a royal ornamental vase is what it's called. What is this? When life gives you vase. What's the description on this? When life gives you vase, seize it by the little baby handles, grab those handles gently, it's fragile, and admire the citrus fruits of your labor, encapsulated in the zesty design. And I don't know, it's like fancy people stuff. There's also this group of baskets. Now, this group of baskets I can see me using more often for decoration. And again, I like the patterns. I like the colors. I like the earthy colors that this stuff comes in and that these coordinate. We've also got this fruit basket of citrus. And what changes is the base here, but the citrus itself stays the same. Ooh, including what looks like a little slice next to it. Then we got this boat. All right, this little, what is this called? A majestic schooner. I don't think I said that correctly, but you get it. It's a little replica, little decorative little boat thing. We have like a little decorative mirror, which this is just decoration, right? Yeah, like this isn't to be used. This is just to be placed and make it look like it can be used, which I like a lot. Because we don't really have anything like that, like just a free mirror that you can place anywhere. And then we have like, decorative little boxes and stuff. And like gems and jewels, some wayfinding items like a little map, a fan, a globe with the little journal by candlelight. So you're like writing your little notes. This item I like a lot. These are just some heels kicked off as floor decoration. Love that. And then this is the Regal Correspondence Kit. We have an Asanko bowl with tapoli, which reminds me of something that you would maybe like grind up some spices. It's a clay grinding bowl and it comes in black and like that clay color. So I'm just gonna kind of like show some of the different swatches. I love the little necklace that's hanging off on the side here and like this little perfume bottle with the expensive jewels inside. I love these little decorative items. I can see me using these a lot. Just some good clutter is always needed in this game. Okay, I'm just showing off to like this little fan. What is this called? At Night Plotting by Candlelight starter set. The names of this stuff is so funny. But yeah, these shoes though, I like all the different colors. Did you see that blue? I love this like blue heel. And so, for example, like these look like the shoes that we get in this pack, which is why to me it's kind of a miss that we didn't get any of the Ankara print clothing. Like I'm like, oh man, like I want my Sims closet to be decorated with stuff that they would actually wear. So those are some of the decorative items. And then when we come over here to some of the decorative plants and stuff, Nature's Booty Bowl. That's what this is called. It's also a really big footprint item. Let me see. Does this fit on here? It does. Okay, it fits on this little bench. I don't know why I thought to check, but there's like mango and papaya and stuff. This looks good and fresh. Although in the Sims world, is this just like fake plastic fruit? Is that the idea for this? Or is the idea that it's real fruit that never goes bad? What do y'all think? Anyway, so yeah, so these are the different swatches, but then you can see some of these plants that we get with this pack. This item obviously goes very well with what's going on outside, where we have the moss versus the clean version of stuff. And then more of these sorts of plants that to me remind me of more like the West African style decoration. Now this, I like this little item a lot because I like the way that the flowers come off. Ooh la la! Again, matching the romantic garden feeling that we have with some of the items in this pack, which does actually make me wonder if it would go well with the romantic garden stuff. I'm gonna bring this out so you can see the base. Basically, these two look like they're the same, but with different bases. I guess this one's oranges versus this one being like lemons, you know? Yeah, and that is the difference because it has the same base. I was just, I don't know, looking at it too quickly. Now I'm confused. Yeah, no, same base, different fruit. And then this one is different colored vases. Or what is this? This is a tropical potted palm plant. Moving on to some other decorations, we saw the vanity downstairs, but this was in the mirrors category. We have another mirror that I find this one interesting that it sits so high on the wall. I'm gonna go back to, I guess it's just rich people stuff that I don't quite get, but it is a little odd. I think part of the benefit is that it will sit above the sink. So if I get the bathroom sink here, as you can see, the way that the mirror sits, it will sit above the sink. But I do wish we had a version of this mirror that I could move up and down or something. Like, can we not do that with mirrors? No, we can't. I know that. Dang it. Okay, well, I guess I wish we had a lower version of the mirror. Then we have this round mirror, the Regal Reflection. And, ooh, it has like a woven pattern on the outside of the mirror. This one's really cool. I think I like this one. You can really see the braided detail right there. We've got the standing umbrella, and you can see the different patterns with the umbrella. There is like a little fringe happening on the outside, so you can see here. And we have, I'm gonna skip this for a second, just so I can rant about it. We've got this room divider with these tassels. Do these tile? Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, I like that. These are cool. As you guys know, if you've watched me play, I don't use the dividers very often, but I've been trying to incorporate them a little bit more into my gameplay. Oh, I like the way that these tassels look. And then we have these ceiling sunbeam mosaics, or what they're called. This is really, really cool. And when the light shines in from above with these, I'm sure it looks really dope. Let's put these up so we can see. Yeah. Yeah, you see that? Coming through the ceiling? That's nice. I like that. And then we have the item I think I was looking forward to the most when I saw this pack was coming out. This is the Shining Beverage Cart. Comes in 6 different metal finishes. And y'all, this is decorative only. I have never been so devastated in my life than seeing that there was no functionality behind this item. Now, sure, modders will probably get a hold of this item and they will add some sort of functionality. But the fact that I can't even like click on this and pretend to get a drink of some sort, like the world globe, I just get really disappointed. I'm like, are you serious? Oh my gosh. Like, I was so unhappy to find out that that had no actual interactions and it was just for show. I was like, whose idea was that? Who did that to my heart? I did not like that at all. Anyway, we've got some runner tile pieces, which we've gotten in other packs before, that you can create your own runner in like a long palatial hallway, you know, to your liking. So you have some different pieces with that, like longer versus like shorter pieces to basically make your own custom little rug, okay, little runner. So I'm gonna put these together so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, boom. Now I've made my own custom runner, or I can make it even longer by taking this and moving it over and then tiling a few of these in the middle, okay? And then bringing this over to this side. And wow, extra long, because, you know, this is the royalty pack. So we need to have like a lot of space for all the fabric we can show off on the floor because we're so rich. Which, yes, in case you were wondering, these runners match what's happening on the stairs, the carpeted stairs that we have. So that same pattern is on these stairs. So you can make your own custom grand staircase moment. All right. And then like have it connect with your runners around the rest of your palace. Okay. So we got another woven rug, which, you know, I love a new rug. And then another woven rug with some tassels, but this one has some of those African inspired prints, kind of like a mud cloth situation. I do like this rug a lot. Personally, this is great. Love this. Super cute. No notes, honestly. Actually, my only note is maybe more colors, but then I could have been saying that about everything. We have this rug as well, which reminds me of the, what is this called? Like a fleur de something, a fleur de la kind of pattern. Oh, the hydrangeas again. And then the shells, and then the limons. All right. And then I'm assuming we have, oh, these are like little decals, like how we saw in the styled room that they place medallions that you could put in different parts of the floor. So this is actually really nice. I like this one a lot. I don't know how I would use these. If you guys have ideas of how to use stuff like this, please let me know, because this is the kind of thing that I like, but I'm like, it would never end up in a build just because I wouldn't know how to do it. Maybe like in an entryway, you know, like an entry foyer to have like a marble detailing. We got 2 new fireplaces with this pack. I'm just loving my name popping right in front as soon as I'm about to start talking about something. But you can see the swatches with these fireplaces. It looks like we have like a limestone version versus kind of like more of the flat stone version of these. And I also like that these have the candles in it as well. Let me, can I turn these on? Have her teleport here so she can turn this on. What does that look like? Does it light the candles at the top too? Oh, okay. The animation on this is actually interesting. No, because it just looks like a fireplace burning the candle wax. This doesn't seem very thoughtful. That doesn't seem thoughtful to me. Why are all the candles on fire? In the curtain section, there was also this regal drapes of destiny item. I just moved it over here because I figured this wouldn't necessarily be over a window. But now that I'm looking at it again, I'm like, yeah, I guess it would be. Let me just put it over something. I don't know. This feels like something you can put on the window or the wall. To the window, to the wall. Okay, anyway, you can see here that the different emblems that show up for dynasties are already embroidered into this. I wonder if they chose what they thought would be the most common emblems, or maybe they used the ones that were specific to the families that come in the pack and then the plain one. Okay, can I put my little things on here? My little crest? No, the crest I'm gone. I mean, I don't see why they would, but it's nice to test it. I think this is a cool item, but it clearly is specific more so for the families in this pack because you can't use any of the little icons on it. Okay, so we saw a couple of these things. One thing that we didn't see was this kitchen pots and pans, which definitely feels like something that we would have gotten in base game, but apparently is not. It's something completely different. And it comes in a few different of these swatches. I feel like we got something similar with the last expansion pack, the Adventure Awaits expansion pack. So I'm glad that we're getting some more of these like kitchen clutter wall items. We did see this in the style room earlier, but I couldn't remember if this was new or not, so I didn't say anything. And then we also have this captain's wheel, whatever this is called, as a decorative item. We've got this decorative fan that is clearly West African inspired. And then we have a royal cowrie crest. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. Oh, and I didn't even say it right. Regal cowrie fest. Oh, a regal cowrie crest. Good God. Anyway, yeah, this is really cool with the cowrie shells on it and kind of coordinating with some of the other cowrie stuff that we got in the pack. And then we saw this outside, but I think I just placed it in here again just because it showed up in multiple categories. Then we have a couple items that are really good for if you're making your own throne room or like throne setting. So this is the crowned comfort canopy, and this is the Vibrant Vibes Grand Tapestry. And these are the different color swatches that it comes in. Obviously going with the rest of the colorways in the pack. I feel like this one is, you know, much more interesting. Like this blue here with what we saw with the blue rug. I haven't seen like the blues and the teals with this mud cloth pattern before. So this is really cool. Now, again, this is kind of like if you want to make your whole throne moment. So I'm going to go to the living chairs section and I'm going to pick up the throne. So this is really cool for like screenshots, or like I said, for creating like a full royal room. You could have some coordinating decorative items for your throne room. Now, without move objects on, this tapestry doesn't place. Now, these are built for like the super tall wall height. I think I use move objects to place it. And I was trying to see if it tiles, and it does not. So there's some move objects magic that's happening here to make this work. But I just wanted to make sure I could show y'all that these things coordinate with each other. So if I want to use like this yellow one, I could have the coordinating yellow canopy. If I wanted to use this like olive green one, you could have the coordinating olive green canopy with your throne. Like make a whole room. Then we have some career items. We have this gilded royal podium, which is unlocked at level 7 of the noble career. We have the regal crown display, which is unlocked at level 9. And then we have some masks. We have the Bellicord mask, which is unlocked by reaching a gold in the grand ball event. And I think you unlock all of these different masks by unlocking a gold in the grand ball event. So I like how these masks kind of like represent the different neighborhoods and whatnot in the pack. And then there's a few color swatches for these ones as well. What I do find interesting is that this item, this regal crown display from reaching level 9 of the noble career, only comes with one crown, which I think is the crown that is unlocked in Create a Sim. So they do coordinate, but it is a little bit like, what? You know, what if I want a different crown on this pillow? It would have been nice to get like a pillow with all the different crowns from Create a Sim. But those are some of the different unlocks with the pack. There are a few color swatches on this as well. This like speaker's podium. So you can see that here. And you start giving speeches at level 4 of the noble career. So I think that's why that's unlocked at that level. So I think that's everything. I think I did accidentally forget to show off this lounger, but it's in the same colors as everything else in this pack. So I'm just going to quickly flash this to you. But I'm curious how you guys feel. How do you guys feel about this pack? I think the things that are really working for this pack as far as build buy is concerned is getting a full kitchen. That's definitely a plus. Getting the expandable couch situation, like the create your own couch. Love that. That was a pleasant surprise that I was not anticipating for this pack at all. Love that for me. Some of the things that I'm a little disappointed by, not getting the other fashion style at least represented with the clothing, because there's even color swatches for a lot of these items. And so not even getting the color swatch. I know part of it is like this dress didn't come in the Ankara prints, but like everything else did. And so I'm a little bit like, oh, that's why didn't we get any of the African prints in any of the stuff? Like that seems like a miss to me personally. And the biggest devastation for me, the biggest devastation of all, the kind of thing that if I, before being a content creator, I would have fully bought the pack for the hairs and this bar cart. And then finding out that this bar cart is not functional, I might have crashed out. Y'all saw me low-key crashing out even talking about it in this video. I was so disappointed by that. And it looks like it's ripe for interaction, but there is no interaction, nothing. It's purely decorative. Who came up with that? I don't know. I think a lot of simmers will be able to create some inspiring builds with this stuff. I think it's specifically primed to create really regal builds. So it's going to be really exciting to see what everyone creates with this pack and how seamlessly things that we already have in the base game actually goes with this pack as well. Like I'm looking at some of these art pieces and I'm like, oh, we already had that? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If you are interested in purchasing the pack, please consider using my creator code vstreetlove at checkout. When you use my creator code vstreetlove in the promo box on the EA app or Sims 4 website, I get a 5% commission. And for a limited time through the middle of February, you get a 5% discount on the purchase. And you also have the opportunity to purchase there's like this bundle where you get the expansion pack plus 2 new kits. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying if that's what you were deciding to do, please consider using my creator code. Let me know what you guys think of all of the build buy items that you saw in this pack. What were your favorite items? What gave you pause? And did this make you feel like you're more excited or less excited for the pack? And yeah, make sure you check out my cast showcase as well. And make sure you're following me because I'm going to be going live playing the pack and exploring the gameplay. So you're not going to want to miss that. Anyway, until next time, y'all.